Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. We're here with Carter Nordman. We're so happy to have him here. I've really enjoyed the conversation so far, Carter. And the last few minutes that we've got, I wanted to talk to you and Doc just about the big elephant in the room when we're talking about the presidential election and national politics. It's the Electoral College, and Hillary Clinton, Democrats and Hillary Clinton supporters are hanging on, at least to their sanity, white-knuckled by a thread to this notion that the Electoral College is going to save them. Now, Democrats that believed that in 2000 were sorely mistaken, and were very, very upset about that. If you remember, I believe George W. Bush wasn't able to walk to the inauguration back in 2000 because of protests and stuff, and so it was a very tumultuous time to be an 18-year-old man like yourself. But I was looking at the map. I tend to do this from time to time. I was looking at the map and I was kind of clicking off. You can go on, there's tons of sites you can go on to create your own maps. So I was clicking off the blue states, the red states, Texas and Louisiana, California, New York. And I got down to the battlegrounds. And I could not, for the life of me, even given current polling, even if you were to give Donald Trump all of the close ones, like Iowa, like Ohio, Florida, Arizona's. They keep talking about Arizona and Georgia being close. I don't think they're that close. But even like Nevada, you give Trump Nevada, I think, and she still wins by like 9 votes because I just can't see him running the table with Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I could see him flipping one, but I can't see. He needs to sweep all of those former industrial states. I mean. We were talking about this off air, and you acknowledged, and everybody that I've talked to, every Trump supporter I've talked to has acknowledged the tough and narrow electoral map road that he's got. But what's your sense of that? Have you been examining that yourself? What does he need to do?
I do, and it is an uphill battle, but it can be done. He needs to win states like Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania would be great, but it can be done without that too. Even if you're going to hit the number 270 right on, it is possible. Okay, so if he wins Ohio and Florida and loses Pennsylvania, what state does he need to? He needs to flip one of the Obama Nevada.
states. He definitely needs Nevada. That's for sure.
Yep.
Because I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe that in 2012. Obama repeated everywhere except North Carolina. Did he win Indiana in 2008? Obama? I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I don't believe so.
I don't think so. He won a state that he wasn't supposed to win. I do remember that. But Virginia is a blue state at this point. Mm-hmm. At least it's a solid. It's better than just lean. It's better than lean. That's what I can say. North Carolina's in play for Hillary again, but not solidly so. I don't really have a point other than to say I'm not sure what state. He needs to flip Michigan. I feel like.
Well, he needs to flip Michigan, but let's just boil this right down to historical context. And I hate doing historical context because remember when we did that earlier last year talking about Trump and we were completely wrong. So this could be completely wrong because Trump is running a completely different campaign than anything else either of us have ever seen.
Right.
Now, I will tell you historically, the Republican. There's 2 states the Republican has to win. He has to win the Iowa caucus, and he didn't do that. And he has to go out and he has to win Ohio. So what is your opinion about Trump's chances in Ohio? Because my opinion is he's probably not going to carry that. Is your opinion, obviously your opinion has to be different, but I would like to know why.
I think he has a great chance in Ohio. The polling is very close in Ohio, sometimes has him up. It's a big swing state. It is possible for him to win Ohio. He did very well there in the primaries. I think if Governor Kasich gets behind him as well,
I think that's a big if. Well,
yeah, that's because
Kasich's such a curmudgeon is the thing.
Well, yeah, and there appears to be bad blood between him.
Well, I think Trump, Mr. Kasich needs to swallow his pride and get behind the party.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes,
I love it. I love everything about it. So okay, so
what do you think the chances of that happening? I'm gonna put it out to both of you.
For John Kasich, I think more likely than our good cousin, friend and neighbor Ted Cruz.
Yes, yeah, that's true. So what do you think? You think Kasich is going to be willing to swallow his pride and go that way?
Well, there's the clock is ticking, so we'll see. But I have a lot of respect for Mr. Kasich. He's done a lot of good things in Ohio. So.
Is there enough time? Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think what do you think the Trump focus is going to be on these last 6 weeks?
Definitely Iowa, Nevada, and Ohio and Florida. I think those are key states that he needs to win. Wisconsin, maybe. He has spent some time in Wisconsin, but I don't know.
Is the just from your interaction with folks that are involved with the campaign, is it true that he's kind of given up on Colorado and Virginia?
Well, Virginia would be a hard one to take due to Tim Kaine being. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well liked Tim Kaine is, but he's from Virginia, and but I don't think he's given up on any states. I think
get that, and that's a strong thing to say because you never do. But it's just like, like how Hillary is not in Utah. Right. She went out there for like a little bit, but I mean she's not campaigning hard.
Bush never went out to California after the first election.
Right. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, you hear these reports about she's dropping her advertising in Colorado and Virginia because she thinks it's got it in the bag. Gosh, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I would like to ask you a couple of personal questions. We're coming up 3 months left in the show. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some personal questions. Mm-hmm. You plan to go to college, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you plan to go?
Probably University of Northern Iowa.
Panthers! Yeah. Gotta love those guys because ISU sucks. So great. You're going to go to UNI. Are you going to study political science or what?
Undecided yet. Business and political science, most likely.
All right. Yeah, the business degree is never going to hurt you. Mm-mm. Now, you have acquitted yourself admirably on this show. Now, I'm usually a pretty friendly guy, but the skirt sniffer over here, he gets pretty bent when anybody comes after Hillary. So you've done a pretty good job of explaining yourself. Do you ever have plans to run for office when you get out of college?
Someday, I do.
Someday. Yeah. You might take Ralph's spot over there.
It's been in the back of my mind. When he's done, maybe I'll step in and get some experience in the Iowa legislature.
Well, good deal. That sounds pretty good. You got any questions for him? That's the end of my question.
No, I think. We got a couple of minutes. We got a couple minutes left. So,
now the one thing that really bends me out of shape: bicyclists on the road and the amount of money we spend on bike paths. What's your stance on that?
Same thing goes through my mind as if I see a bicyclist on the road and there's a bike path about 15 feet away from him. It gets me.
Do you know how much money we spend on bike paths?
I'm sure it's not cheap.
Well, just the cost to put them down is $93 million.
Yep.
And then the second problem is then you have to maintain them. And there's a budget of about $8 million a year that we spend just to maintain, in addition to putting down new roads.
Correct.
So a road winds up about $16 million a year. Mm-hmm. Do you think a balanced budget, if you were elected as a representative, is that something you could cut from that?
To take care of our bike paths? Probably not.
You wouldn't cut that?
No. I think there's plenty of people who use them that appreciate them.
Bipartisan. Know a lot of conservative Republicans. That
I know a lot of morons too. So those people, well, the other thing is Ed Fallon loves riding his bike, but he never stops to consider how much carbon is released every year from cement, because cement releases carbon all the way up until it breaks down. Mm-hmm. That's my spiel about it. We want to thank Carter Nordman for coming in. I'm not kidding. You shake your head all you want.
It's the craziest thing to be upset about. It's the craziest thing to be upset about.
It is. It might be the craziest thing. I'm the crazy.
You are the equivalent of the old guy on his lawn, just shaking rakes at people and stuff.
Here you go.
How's that? Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Now I look like Mick Foley.
We don't need to bother with that. Thanks everybody tuning in. So thankful for Carter Nordman to come and hang out with us today. Doc, you got any gigs coming up? You got anything to plug?
Just one. WWE is coming. I'm going to be playing Mick Foley. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Take care.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.